Weekend. Sports 2000 cars are lining up in pit road. Now, we'll wait to see what's going to happen. They're still cleaning up here. Just waiting to see if there's been any bulletins via the BARC website as to if there's been any changes to the timetable. I don't think there have. No, nothing yet. Sports 2000, incidentally, they run as two separate championships, effectively. We've got the more modern cars going off the front, and then running with a 20-second delay, we have the historic cars. The older machines go in a separate race, because it's effectively a separate championship. The older Ford Pinto engine cars, the newer ones use Ford Duratex, but more on those a little later on, hopefully. Hope they do get their race in today. For any Sports 2000 fans, their race is scheduled for the end of the programme. It's Michael Gibbons who's qualified on pole, alongside Joshua Law, the championship leader in the Duratex, then Colin Peach, Richard Johnson, Tom Stoughton and David Houghton. In the historics, Trevor Welsh is quickest ahead of Nick Hyatt. Oh. I have just heard in my headsets from Ian, we believe the Jaguars will not be racing today. We'll wait and confirm that in a moment, but we believe the Jaguars have elected not to race today, so we may see their second race we'll see their second race take place tomorrow. We'll wait to see if their first race is moved to race tomorrow. We'll bring you any news on that as soon as we receive it. So it looks like we are going to have the Sports 2000 race next. We'll confirm that in a second.
Fairly close to the schedule. We're either 5 minutes before or after. It sort of fluctuating between either side.
Yes, Daniel Stewart mentioned there. He's on holiday in France at the moment, sitting by the swimming pool. Sorry, Dan, and sorry to the Holt family. It's hotter here at Thruxton. Right, I think we're going to move on then to the SRCC Sports 2000 Championship. This is a championship that has been in existence for some 45 years now, started in 1977. These are 2-litre Ford-engined sports racers. Top cars producing around 200 horsepower. They're scheduled for a 25-minute race. Should just about get that in before the curfew. We caught up with some of the drivers earlier on.
So welcome everybody. The sun is blistering hot now, and so is qualifying actually for the Sports 2000 Championship, as you can see. Let's have a quick chat over here with Mike Dodd. Very quick word if we can. How was it out there? Hot, I imagine?
Extremely warm. Temperature was warm, driver was cold.
You said it, not me by the way. You said it. Look, Thruxton, fastest circuit in the UK. It must be really nice to just be able to get that pedal down all the way for the whole lap.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's my first time out for a while. I had surgery earlier this year, so I've got my best excuse for years. But yeah, I mean, if we get it right with these things, with the historics, once you're through the fiddly bits, it's just flat all the way around and hold on.
People have said to me, you only use the brakes twice around here. Is that right?
Yeah.
You have to think about it.
Yeah.
Look, fantastic. Best of luck for the race. Thanks for talking to us. As you can see, the car's heading on out here. Let's see if we can grab Steve very quickly. Steve, very, very quickly, just before you run off, how was it out there?
Very quick. First time here in the Sports 2000 around Thruxton.
It's quite a learning curve, isn't it? Because you don't get any practice session.
Yeah, and it's a bit quicker than the Formula V that I used to go around in. So.
I imagine.
Yeah, so yeah, it was interesting. Had a nice fast off at the fastest part of the circuit.
Ah, okay.
I don't think there's any damage, but I think we should be okay.
Well, you're still here, so that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a great circuit, and it's nice to see a lot of people here as well. Nice crowds.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Lovely. Look, I'll let you get back. Thanks so much for talking to us, Steve. Fantastic. We're going to get out of the way. As you can see, the cars, they're coming straight through, so almost time for the race to get underway too. So let's hand over to your commentator, Dave Goddard, who's going to take you through the action. Enjoy.
Okay, the cars will shortly be released onto the grid, hopefully, for the Sports 2000 cars. Quite a large field we have here as well. Championship with plenty of heritage. Many of these drivers have been with the series for many years. It's a championship with a very hardcore driver base. Let's have a look at the grid then. Michael Gibbons, number 76, in pole position. He runs in Duratec Class A. The Duratec Championship, the more modern cars start off from the front, so it's Gibbons on pole alongside Joshua Law in the number 91. Second row, Colin Peach and Richard Johnson, 117 and 21. Third row, number 1, Tom Stoughton, and number 8, David Houghton. James Barwell and Paul Traherne on row 4. Row 5 is Nick Bates and Grant Gibson. On the 6th row, Andy Chittenden and Roger Donnan. Paul Traherne and Roger Donnan, they're in Class DB, which is the Derek Bell class. That's for the senior cup, effectively, for the older drivers on the grid. Row 7 is Peter Brouwer from the Netherlands, alongside Steve O, who we just heard from, the former Formula V racer. Row 8, Tim Tudor and Mike Turner. Row 9 is Peter Williams and Clive Hayes. Then on the 10th row, we've got John Owen in number 28, Ashley Law in 73. Number 9, Andy Butler alongside John Eiley, and Josh Needham, that's the car we saw doing laps in the lunch break, had some problems in qualifying, starts at the back of the Duratec grid. Then there's a gap, and 20 seconds later, on the starts from the delay, will come the Pinto engine cars, the older Ford engines, for the historic cars. Trevor Welsh alongside Nick Hyatt. Second row behind them, Peter Needham and Chris Snowden. Mike Fry and Charlie Hyatt on the third row. Nick Johnson and Andreas Floth on row 4. And Mike Dodd and John Harmer round out the grid. This will be a 25-minute race. It may be cut slightly if we don't get quite underway in time, but I think the clear-up is nearly ready. And just before the cars head out on the track, Ian's down with them in the pit lane.
And also tomorrow's going to be a busy one because we've got lots more racing. We've only got one more qualifying session to get through this weekend.
Right, hello everybody. As you can see, I'm at pit exit here. I've just decided to pop down for the S2000. You've obviously probably heard by now that the Jaguar race is not going to happen today. I'm sure it will be sorted tomorrow. So let's just have a little chat with some of the drivers as we're here. They've been sat here for quite a while now, and of course, just so you know, there is a bit of a wet line, of course, down the start-finish straight where we had to clean up the oil. Let's go have a quick chat over here. We'll just make our way through here. Roger, how are we feeling ahead of this one? A little bit slightly earlier than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, a little bit unsure about things. It's obviously all up in the air, but we'll do what we can.
Exactly, you're not too concerned about the slightly damp line we've got now down the start-finish straight?
It's going to have to be a bit conservative. You know, there's no point going for it. You just got to be sensible.
Exactly.
That's my
I'm just hearing actually 2 laps behind the safety car. There we go, 2 laps behind the safety car. Confirmation. Can we just show that at the camera very quickly as well? There you go, confirmation there. Thank you very much for that. I have to watch these wires as well underneath the splitters of these cars because I do have a feeling I might trip up at any time there. Andy, how are we feeling? Ready for this?
Yeah, I'm wondering how slipping it's going to be over there.
Yeah, it's probably an advantage not to be right at the front, isn't it, actually?
Yes, let them have the trouble.
Look, the temperature, does it make an impact on these cars? Are we expecting tyres to go off, or does that just not really have a problem?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes if it's really hot, I have had issues, but I didn't have issues this morning, so
Good.
and it was warm.
Yeah, it still is, isn't it? All right, best of luck for the race. Thanks for talking to us. We do appreciate it. Let's keep going down as well. We've got the brollies up, as we can see, trying to keep in the shade. Let's just keep walking down a little bit further, shall we? Have a quick chat. Let's just jump in here, shall we, as well? We look calm, we look ready. Do we feel it?
We had a rubbish qualifying this morning, big issues with the car, so yeah, I guess see what happens. You know, we're kind of out of position, nothing to lose, so see what that track's like now.
Yeah, exactly, and we think that sort of slightly wet line might make a bit of a difference as well, people being a bit tentative. Are you just going to go for it?
I got to. The students put a load of work in to try and get the car working, so yeah, for them I've got to try it, haven't I?
Well, have you got a message for them, because they might even be watching?
Sorry?
Some students might be watching.
They're all here and around about. They'll know. I'll try my best for them. So.
Excellent work, well said. Thanks for talking to us. Let's keep on making our way down as well. We've got Peter Williams here. Let's have a quick chat with him. Peter, ready for this?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one, but we're ready.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, we know it's the fastest circuit in the UK. Now we've got the added challenge of a slightly wet line down the start-finish straight, but a lot of fun, these.
It should be good. Yeah, as long as we can overtake, it'll be all right.
What sort of speed can you get up to in one of these?
140.
140,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, I bet you feel it as well, don't you, with no windshield or anything?
You know you're there.
Thank you, best of luck for it as well. You know you're there, 140 miles an hour. pretty good going as well. Let's have a quick chat with John too. Thank you very much for putting the visor up. I appreciate it. It's always nice to see how we're feeling ahead of this one. No concerns about the start-finish straight.
Well, it's not great, is it? But it is what it is. We just have to get on with it. But we'll see when we get out behind the safety car, I think.
It's 2 laps behind the safety car as well, so I guess it gives everybody a chance to get a bit of a feel. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I had a bit of a problem in qualifying, so I'm a bit further back than I'd like to be. But yeah, we'll just get on and do it.
Anything can happen. Right, thanks for talking to us. Best of luck for the race as well. Let's keep going down. It's a big field here, isn't it, as well? Not too much longer to go, I feel, as well. So let's just make our way to the end before we hand over back to Dave, who's going to take you through the action. Let's just keep going all the way through at the end, shall we? Look, we've got the brollies up. Look at this, trying to keep out the sun. Have a quick chat here. It's been a hot old day today, hasn't it? But you're doing your best to stay out of it.
Yeah, something like that. I wish I knew what was happening really. Whether we should be going out, I've got my doubts, but we haven't got much choice, have we?
We are. It is getting closer and closer to time, isn't it? We're here 2 laps behind the safety car. You're a bit concerned about the oil that's been spilled.
It was diesel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I last looked over the wall, it didn't look to me completely cleared up. Water evaporates, diesel doesn't. So, yeah, I'd rather they spent the time making sure it's good for tomorrow. But let's hope it's cleared up. But I've got my reservations.
Well, look, thanks for talking. Best of luck out there. Take it easy as well. 2 laps behind the safety car, of course. Although there is, just to remind everybody, there is a curfew. There is a 6:30 curfew. It's 6:05 already. Not a lot of action happening. We'll keep you updated. But so far, it's looking like we are going to get underway. 2 laps behind the safety car. Then we will be go. Fingers crossed. If anything changes, I will let you know. But for now, I'm going to hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard.
Yes, thanks very much, Ian. We've just seen on the timing screen the race distance has been reduced from 25 minutes to 15 minutes, which will ensure we get this race in. It will be a shorter race than planned, but we will get some racing laps for the SRCC Sports 2000 Championship, sponsored by Locks for Vans, auto lock specialists. Looking at the championship standings, well, all but 2 races in the Duratec Championship this year have been won by Joshua Law, car number 91, who starts second on the grid. He was beaten by Richard Johnson in the first race of the year at Donington, and he retired from one of the races at Brands Hatch, which was won by the poleman here, Michael Gibbons, who drives for the MCR squad. MCR, a manufacturer based in Pembrokeshire in West Wales. They've built most of the cars in Class A of the Duratec engined championship. Class B is for pre-2007 built cars. And looking at the qualifying standings, the first of them is Colin Peach in his Van Diemen chassis. Of course, Van Diemen much more famous for their Formula Ford cars. Colin Peach on the second row of the grid, number 117. Class DB is for the senior drivers aged over 60. Some of these drivers have been competing for many decades in Sports 2000. Quickest of them is Paul Traherne, number 71 in the Gun TS11. I think it's ex-racer Henry Nicholas who prepares the Gun cars. This race, they do plan to go racing. We've just been told by Ian they will do a minimum of 2 laps behind the safety car to check out the conditions. That will be counted in the race distance. So it's a safety car start. The historic championship, meanwhile, that's for cars with the older Ford Pinto engine. And there's 3 classes in that. Class A is for Pinto engine cars built 1987 onwards. Class B is for cars from 84 to 86. We haven't got any Class B cars here, I don't think, unfortunately. And Class C is the oldest cars pre-1984. 2 Class A cars, Nick Hyatt and Peter Needham. The other historic class cars are all Class C. There's lots of Tiger and Lola chassis. Of course, Lola cars have been in the news recently, the name being revived by businessman Till Bechtolsheimer, businessman and sports car and GT racer. That's going to be revived in the UK, which is great to hear. And the Tiger sports car chassis, TIGA, founded by Antipodean racers Tim Schenken and Howden Ganley back in the 70s. Tiger Group C car was seen at the Le Mans Classic recently with young Jack Faby at the wheel, along with Australian Tim Macro. 2-litre Ford engines here. So the safety car leads the way. Michael Gibbons, number 76, a former champion. As these are effectively clothed single-seaters, you could say, these cars in looks. They do look like mini Le Mans racers. There's the Barwell family car, number 77, James Barwell driving this weekend. These are likely to be the quickest cars that we see this weekend. Lovely looking little sports racers. There's the number 27 car. That's John Harmer starting from the back. John Harmer, one of the pace setters in the historic championship this year. Paul Street is the historic championship leader, although he's not here this weekend. John Harmer shares that Tiger, number 27, with former Caterham racer Mark Noiro, but John Harmer driving solo this weekend. Starting under the safety car as signalled by the marshals. Something a little bit different then here on BARC TV. We've never seen the Sports 2000 cars before. Number 36 there is Nick Hyatt. He's the son of Ross Hyatt, who raced Group C cars at Le Mans and still races in historic sports cars today. I believe Charlie Hyatt is his brother. They come from Knaresborough in Yorkshire. 54 there is Peter Needham. Normally we'd see the historic cars start from the standing start with a 20-second delay, but of course it's a rolling start today with the safety car out there, so the normal start procedure goes out of the window. The clock is already running. We will get the race in. Can anyone stop Josh Law? Only beaten twice so far this year in the Duratec Championship. Peter Brouwer, the Dutchman, leads the Class B standings, and Class DB, the Derek Bell class. As we mentioned, the president of the Sports 2000 Racing Car Club is the great Derek Bell MBE. One of Britain's, one of Britain's greatest sports car racers, one of the world's greatest sports car racers, the multiple Le Mans winner, among many, many other honours. Shared so many wins at Le Mans with the legendary Jackie Ickx for Porsche. It's MCRs to the fore here. Michael Gibbons in the number 76. 91, Joshua Law alongside him. Josh, a keen musician as well, a keen drummer. Colin Peach next on the lineup in the 117. He's in Class B for the slightly older Duratec engine cars. Tim Tudor we heard from on the grid. He and John Eiley driving for the University of Wales team. Their students prepare the cars. Safety car still out. It'll do another lap. As long as nobody finds a slippy patch and loses it on these laps, we should go racing next time around. There, that's Nick Bates in his MCR. Most of the top class cars are MCRs. We've got a couple of gun chassis. One is driven by number 1, Tom Stoughton. Paul Trahern's in a gun as well. Peter Brouwer in the Lola Fox in Class B. We've got Van Diemen's out there. We've got Lolas and Tigers in the historic classes. One driver who's not racing this weekend is Colin Fierabend, who raced with this series for many, many years, along with other members of his family. Has done a lot behind the scenes over the years to renew the popularity of Sports 2000 racing. It began back in the 70s. I think it's celebrating its 45th anniversary this year, Sports 2000. These are the quickest cars we will see this weekend. Michael Gibbons, Josh Law, Colin Peach, then Richard Johnson in the number 21. He had a win early this season. Tom Stoughton and David Houghton behind them. They both raced these cars for a number of years. Paul Trahern leading the Derek Bell class for the senior drivers. His main rival there should be Roger Donnan in the number 34. Also Mike Turner, number 7, 88 Peter Williams. Okay, the safety car should be coming in this time, which means we'll get just over 9 minutes of full-scale racing Obviously, driver safety being paramount here, making sure there's no slippy patches and everything is cleared up. The lights are out atop the safety car. We are going racing this time with the Locks for Vans SRCC Sports 2000 Championship. First time ever on BARC TV. Michael Gibbons backing the field up slightly, doing a bit of a Sebastian Vettel. Josh Law behind him, looking to add to his tally of wins this year. Revs are up from these 2-litre Ford engines. Here we go. Sports 2000 is go at Thruxton. Gibbons leads from Law. Colin Peach in third place, under fire from Richard Johnson in the Ancaster Leisure number 21 car as they head out towards the complex for the first time. Tom Stoughton is in 5th position in the number 1, the reigning champion. They swing their way into the complex. Richard Johnson runs a little wide, but he's held 3rd place ahead of Colin Peach. Then in 6th position, that looks like the number 8 of David Houghton. Pick up the historic leader as well at the end of the first lap. There is Houghton losing out to the number 34. Peter Brower, sorry, that is number 6, losing out to Roger Donnan. David Houghton's in number 8. Getting pretty busy in there. There is Houghton, the number 8, chasing Tom Stoughton. They head out into the country for the first time. Slightly unorthodox looking to the untrained eye. Very potent little sports racers, these machines. Very, very rapid indeed. 200 horsepower from these 2-litre Ford engines. They head back towards the paddock. The first 2 have gone clear. Michael Gibbons ahead of Josh Law. Peach in 3rd place. We'll check the rest of the order as they come round to complete the first lap. Going through into 3rd, the number 21 of Richard Johnson around the first lap. Colin Peach still leading Class B though for the slightly older cars, the pre-07 cars. As Gibbons leads. Slightly reduced time for Josh Law to try and catch the leader here. They're both well clear of Johnson 3rd, then Peach, Stoughton, Houghton, Barwell and Grant Gibson going well in the 111. He's 2nd of the Class B cars. The number 111 of Grant Gibson, the Kookaburra Coffee sponsored car. That's the 1994 spec Van Diemen. 77 there, scrapping it out. That's James Barwell with Gibson. I think that is him behind him. No, that's the number 8 of David Houghton, so he's lost a place there. Tricky to see the numbers on 1 or 2 of these cars, so I apologise for any misscalls. The Derek Bell class is being led by Roger Donnan. There is Traher. Did he take the start? Oh, and there's a spinner. That's the 77 that's gone. That's James Barwell. Spinning coming into church there. That's not the place you want to have a spin. A very high speed part of the track. He hasn't hit anything and he's able to rejoin. Nicely done by James Barwell in the Barwell Property Services car, the man from Oxfordshire. Have a look at that again. James Barwell has got a wheel onto the grass on the outside coming into Church Corner there, and goodness me, was nearly collected. That was certainly close indeed. I think it was the number 8 of David Houghton who nearly hit him. Luckily James Barwell didn't hit anything and was able to rejoin. Well, I mentioned Paul Traherne in the Derek Bell category, but I don't think he's there. I don't think he took the start, sadly. Number 6 has pulled up at the chicane. That is Peter Brower. The Dutchman is out of it now. That's going to be significant in Class B. Yes, in Class B, because Peter Brower's the points lead. So we've lost Peter Brower. Let's have a look. Oh, he's tangled with somebody there. Stuck on the grass, so that's what happened there. Now, I think that was the 28, possibly, that he tangled with, which is John Owen. There's a battle, car number 9. That's the University of Wales car. Students down there looking on, trying to find out what the problem is. Looking underneath the front. Maybe he's had an off somewhere. 5.5 minutes of this race to go. That's the number 9. We just saw there battling with the 25 car of Josh Needham. That's the car that had problems in qualifying. Now, who's leading the historic division? Let's have a look back. Oh, and we mentioned problems in qualifying for the 25. They've struck again. Because 25, Josh Needham slowing again. It's not a good race for the Class B cars, is it? We've just seen Peter Brower, the points leader, taken out. Anyway, I'm trying to look who's leading the historic class. Every time I do, something happens somewhere else like this. There's 32 of Chris Snowden. 27 of John Harmer. 44 in there as well. That is John Eiley in the other University of Wales car. The historic class is being led by Nick Hyatt in car number 36, I think. I finally had a chance to have a look at the timing screen after everything that's gone on. Certainly spectacular, aren't they? Number 33 there. That's one of the Pinto Eni cars. That's Mike Fry. He's been racing in this category for many years. He's in a Tiger now. There is the number 46. That is Trevor Welsh. He's leading Class C in the historic cars for the oldest cars of all, the pre-1984 cars. Really does look like a miniature Le Mans racer from the 70s, doesn't it? Like one of the older Chevron or March sports cars. Lovely looking thing, the number 46, Lola T492. Welsh, the man from Durham. You can see the tyre marks where James Barwell spun earlier on. But the historic Class A field is being led by Nick Hyatt, and he's in 36th overall, one place ahead of Trevor Welsh. Peter Needham in third place in historic. Here's a battle further forward, John Owen trying to chase down the number 73 car, that is of Ashley Law. Still Michael Gibbons who leads by nearly 4 seconds ahead of Josh Law now. Richard Johnson in third, fourth is Colin Peach, Tom Stoughton fifth, David Houghton sixth. Number 4 car there, that's Nick Bates, he's in 8th place. 148 of Andy Chittenden giving chase. Those are both Class A runners. There's the second place man, Josh Law. He's the championship leader. There goes Michael Gibbons. Now is Michael Gibbons going to take, I think, his second win of the season? He's had just one win at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit this year. Towards Allard goes the leader. 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock. The lead gap is 4 seconds. I think Josh Law, for once in this series, is going to have to settle for second place. Here's the fight for third. There's Andy Chittenden giving chase to the number 4 of Nick Bates. This is the fight for 8th and 9th. Roger Donnan behind at number 34. He's leading the Derek Bell category. This is the fight for third. 21, Richard Johnson ahead of Colin Peach. He's comfortably leading Class B. And behind them is Tom Stoughton, number 1. 2 minutes to go. Focuses this scrap for third place. Behind them in 6th is David Houghton. Grant Gibson, treble 1, is 7th. He's second in Class B. And Bates, Chittenden and Donnan round out the overall top 10 in the historic category. It is still Nick Hyatt ahead of Trevor Welsh. Peter Needham third in historic, ahead of John Harmer. A chance to take the points lead, John Harmer, if he can get a decent result here from the absent Paul Street. Chittenden starting to come under fire from that's not Roger Donnan, it's the number 50 car behind him now. That's Steve O in the MCR S2. Is that Roger Donnan behind, or has he got ahead of Chittenden? No, there's Donnan, apologies there, I missed that. Roger Donnan's got ahead of Andy Chittenden. He's coming up on Nick Hayes. So many cars out there, so similar from a distance, it's tricky to follow, isn't it? Great racing all the way down the order from these little sports prototypes. There goes your leader, Michael Gibbons. He is heading for victory surely now. He's 4 seconds clear of Josh Law, and somebody's off. Now who's that? I think that might be the number 9 car of Andrew Butler has gone off. Quite see a number there in the sunset. Here's a couple of the historic runners. 54 of Peter Needham, 32 of Chris Snowden. Now Chris Snowden raced all sorts of things in his time. Raced historic Alfa Romeos a few years ago as Chittenden and Donnan fight it out. This is for the lower reaches of the top 10. Watch the 50 of Steve O up the inside. He gets past Donnan. Going towards Village. This is great stuff in the midfield. Avoiding that bit of bodywork there. That's the rear bodywork from, we think it's the number 9 car. Yes, Butler's dropping down the timing screen, so it is the number 9 of Andrew Butler that's spun out there. The clock has counted down to 0, so it'll be checkered flag shortly for Michael Gibbons. He'll take his second win of the season, barring any major disaster on this final lap. There's Tim Tudor. He made a pit stop earlier on, passing Josh Needham. He's been struggling as well with a few problems with the car all day. A slap board is out. We await the arrival of our race leader, soon to be race winner, Michael Gibbons, number 76, the man from Whiteleaf in Surrey. And for once, Josh Law is going to have to settle the second. Trevor Welsh fighting it out with John Harmer. This is a battle in historics. I think they're still behind Nick Hyatt, who's going to take the overall historic win. This is class leader Trevor Welsh. With Ashley Law going through just ahead of them. Very busy, as we can see, all the way down the order. First time we've ever seen Sports 2000. There's the checkered flag. The win goes to Michael Gibbons. 4.7 seconds clear of Josh Law. Richard Johnson takes third. Colin Peach will come in fourth place. Tom Stoughton fifth. Sixth behind them is David Houghton. Chris Snowden still battling on in the number 32, chasing 54 of Peter Needham. Joining in with them, the number 6 of Peter Brower, recovering after his spin earlier on. 36 there, a rakish looking machine. That's Nick Hyatt. He's heading for historic victory. Also a Group C sports car racing family. Photo finish there. Roger Donnan and the number 7 of Mike Turner. Now, was that for the Derek Bell class win? Yes, it was. Donnan and Turner separated by less than a tenth of a second. Roger Donnan just takes the class. Bit of a frantic race to follow, that one, to round off the day here at Thruxton. We just get it in 5 minutes before the curfew. We'll wait to see if the Jaguar race is rescheduled for tomorrow. Sorry for those of you who were waiting for the Jaguars. Sadly, there wasn't time to run them. As Nick Hyatt is coming in to win the historics, or is he? Or is he? Because look at John Harmer up the inside. This is going to be close. A photo finish. Who got that? Well, now, let's have a look at the timing screen. And according to TSL timing, Harmer's got it by 0.025 of a second. They don't get much closer than that. Well, it was a shorter race than we expected, but I'm out of breath after that one. Great racing from the Sports 2000s. And well done, Michael Gibbons, a second win of the season. And Josh Law, who has pretty much dominated the Duratec Championship this season, for once is defeated. It's only his third defeat of the season, and the only the second time he's been beaten in a straight fight. He was beaten by Richard Johnson in round 1 at Donington. The only other time he's been beaten this year is a retirement. We saw 25 there. That's Josh Needham, stopped out on track. His Van Diemen continuing to give trouble. And taking the win in the first race of the weekend for the Locks for Vans Sports 2000 cars, Michael Gibbons from Surrey. And Ian is already down there to talk to him in the pit lane.
Right, everybody, welcome down to the pit lane. Slightly different. We're not actually in Park Ferme for a change, but we've come down to the pits, and that's because the parked up here. Here is your win. Michael, I can't let you go too fast. I'm really, really sorry. I know you're probably roasty, toasty hot, but we managed to get going in the end. I'll let you get your helmet off first. We managed to get going in the end. Were you a little bit tentative with the line down the start finish straight to get going?
Yeah, it's not ideal conditions to start a race, is it? But I'm glad we got a race. It was quite slippery, and you couldn't really, because they've cleaned it quite well. You can't really see where the oil is, and it went around the first corner, and
nobody wanted to be you, actually, did they? Despite being on pole, it's not if you can say that, is it?
Yeah, everyone can just see. Oh, he got round. We can go a bit quicker. Yeah, it's what it is. It's great. We still got a race. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to get out. It's a bit warm though.
It is a little bit warm, but you managed to hold off Josh Law quite comfortably behind in the end. Was it just a case you just had the pace, you just had the bravery around it?
Yeah, it felt really good, and I wasn't having to push silly hard, so we should have some tyres for tomorrow as well. Yeah, it's nice to get a result. We blew up a clutch in qualifying, so we've been working all afternoon to get the car sorted, and then the thought of not having a race at all was a little bit disheartening. It was nice we got out, and nice we got it fixed, and Yeah, I'm pleased with the result.
You get the big W. Well done. Congratulations,
Thank you very much.
Michael Gibbons there. Your race winner. It's a bit of a mess down there. Actually, some cars are going into park for me. A lot have been left here. There we go. Now, of course, there is another race tomorrow for the S2000 Championship. But from me today, that's it. So I'm going to hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard, to tell you what's coming up.
Okay, the provisional results of that race then. Michael Gibbons taking the win by 4.7 seconds over Josh Law, Richard Johnson completing the podium, and Colin Pinch winning Class B in 4th place. Tom Stoughton and David Houghton next home. Second in Class B was Grant Gibson in 7th place. Behind them, Nick Bates in a good battle with Steve-O and Andy Chittenden. And behind them was the winner of the Derek Bell category. Look how close that was. Roger Donnan just pipping Mike Turner on the line. Behind them was James Barwell, despite that spin at Church Corner. 88 of Peter Williams, third in the Derek Bell class. And then the number 12 of Clive Hayes